Criminal defense attorney David Seltzer is here to discuss the continuance and its possible effect on the jury. David, thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, Mike.
I tell you, David, when the motion for the mistrial came up, a lot of people here in session and other people I've spoken to said, yeah, you know, there's a definite Brady violation, and I think they're going to grant a mistrial. Then Judge Darrow comes back, and he says no. But then yesterday when they came back, you didn't even hear it mentioned. For a little while, they talked about other matters, and then all of a sudden it did come up, and you heard the defense ask for continuance, and the judge granted it. How is this going to play to the jury? The jury, he brought him back in. He said, okay, I'm going to dismiss you until next Wednesday in the admonition, but still, as a juror, I'd want to know what's going on here.
The jury's got lots of questions as to what's going on. They're confused right now. They don't know why the case is reset. They've been sitting there for 7 weeks, and they're ready to go forward. They know they're going to be there for some weeks longer, and they want to get this case going. The delay is just going to infuriate the jury. I don't think any side's going to really see any shift in burden from this as to what their responsibility is going to be. The jury's going to come back, they'll be aggravated, and the case will go forward. What really bothered me yesterday when I read all these motions is this was a Brady violation. The judge said it. I'm finding there was a Brady violation. To me, when I read the documents and reviewed the case, it's material. The prosecution withheld a document with another cause that killed these people. Clearly, their own expert opined to that. Now, they withheld that report. The judge found it's Brady, but the judge did not find an alternative cause is material. I don't buy it. I think this is a big waste of taxpayer money at this point that's probably going to come back on appeal because of this specific issue.
Well, you know, our legal analyst, Sunny Hostin, she usually sides with the prosecution and the court, but she said she thinks the judge got it wrong.
He did. I agree 100%. The judge got it wrong. This is a huge issue. The prosecution now, the question is, are they going to be able to recall the medical examiner and other state witnesses that may not be on their witness list with the court's request so they can readdress these issues? The defense lost 7 weeks of the trial in following this defensive argument. That is huge, huge, huge prejudice to the defense.
So when the jury, you know, if the jury does come back on Wednesday, because who knows if they're going to be able to get all the interviews they want done in that particular time, because the defense said, they said 10 days, possibly 2 weeks. Now, if they get everything done and the jury's back in the box on Wednesday, what is the judge, how is the judge going to instruct the jury as they proceed in this?
Well, the judge isn't really going to address the delay if he does it the way I think he should. He should just go on, pick up the way things left off, and move forward. The jury really has no responsibility to know why the case was delayed. The jury is aware that this is a complex trial and stuff happens and you need time to work things out. The question is, how long is this going to take? I think the judge is keeping them on a very tight leash and is going to come back on Wednesday. However, I agree with the defense. I don't know if that's enough time. The sweat lodge was destroyed by the government or the police shortly after the incident.
Actually, it was the owners, I think, that burned it up because, and I think, David, as a former investigator, I would have taken all of that the first night. I would have had lights out there, bring the volunteer fire department, the fire district out there, collected all that up and put it as evidence, but they didn't.
Correct. Somebody dropped the ball there. Now, to me, you look at another Brady violation. Now the police dropped the ball there as a destruction of evidence. If the police are doing an investigation and the evidence gets destroyed, the court's going to hear about that as a material violation to the defense's ability to inspect the evidence. The defense has a right to inspect the evidence in criminal cases. So here, that's another huge violation that was addressed and it's been dealt with. But again, now we have a government expert saying there's an issue with this sweat lodge. It's not the defendant's fault.
And that's Rick Haddow, the environmental engineer who they want to interview, as well as Detective Diskin, who's been sitting there at the prosecution table the whole time and who actually interviewed Darrell. It's going to be very, very interesting. David Seltzer, thanks again for your insight.
Thank you very much.
All righty.